Hey folks, John Cantera, the Double Broker Bounty Hunter, coming to you. We've got another episode of Stop the Scam for you. We've got a couple of active investigations going on. We've got a cargo theft that's taking place as we speak. And we have a new fraud taking place that carriers really need to start paying attention to, and not just carriers, factoring companies also. So, folks, you might want to stick around and listen for this stuff. All that and more coming up.
Welcome to the Double Broker Bounty Hunters Stop the Scam. Here are your hosts, the Double Broker Bounty Hunter, John Cantera, and Dispatch Kate, Caitlin Price.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust.
I love a little bit of Queen in my day. And yes, I'm talking about my wife. I love my wife. Anyway. So welcome back to Stop the Scam. It's another beautiful Monday. Nothing but storms and tornadoes all around me here in very cloudy, wet Pensacola. Kate, how you doing today?
Today has actually been great up until about 10 minutes ago when my driver said his check engine light came on. So hopefully that's not a problem.
Well, fingers crossed. That's never a good sign. But hopefully he just has to do a regen and call today. That would be ideal. But that's neither here nor there.
Hopefully.
We also have Jenny in a bottle joining us today. Jenny, how you been?
Been doing okay. Just another day in paradise here, trying to get people paid.
Trying to get people paid, dealing with fraud.
Fraud everywhere.
It's insane how much of this we deal with, but folks, we deal with it on literally a daily basis. I have absolutely been bombarded by requests for help lately. And this latest one that I'm dealing with right now involves a cargo theft that took place on Friday. Now, I'm going to withhold names to protect the innocent. And frankly, we are investigating some of the players in this because we do believe that this is part of a larger ring. And the Freight Fraud Task Force is going to be getting involved with that. And for those of you who are unaware, please follow the hashtag Freight Fraud Task Force. We are doing a lot of big things. We're making a lot of things happen, but we don't like to advertise them until it's over and done with. Just saying. We don't want to compromise any investigations. But here is what we know about this case as it stands. So out on Reddit, if you frequent the freight broker subreddits, I think it's trucking broker trucking.
I know that group. I know what you're talking about.
There's a subreddit for brokers on Reddit. And I do frequent it. I know I'm not a broker, so please don't shoot me. But I get some good intel off of that from time to time. And I happened to be perusing it on Saturday evening, and there was a broker asking for assistance. And the only information he had about a stolen cargo was he had a name of the driver who picked up the load. So I went ahead and I reached out to them, got a copy of the BOL, and we sent that back to the task force, and we ran the name through the task force. We were able to get all the contact information for this very specific driver, right down to his address, his cell phone, et cetera, et cetera. So we have all of his information, and within 5 minutes of getting that information back to the broker made contact with the driver and figured out what happened to his cargo. The cargo was being picked up in Pennsylvania, was bound for Maryland, short run for the weekend, Saturday delivery, and didn't show up. So we got a hold of the driver. Apparently, the driver received the load from who he thought was a different broker, so it was a double brokered load. The driver was not in on the scam. He was paid via Zelle. So, yeah, I don't know about y'all, but if you're a driver and they offer you Zelle, that should draw some red flags from the get-go. It's convenient, it's nice, but it should throw a flag. It threw enough of a flag, though. The driver was smart. when he went to Bayonne, New Jersey, which is where he was supposed to deliver the cargo to, according to the scammer. When he got to Bayonne, New Jersey, he realized, hey, wait a minute, they're transloading this cargo onto a pair of box trucks. Like, wait a minute, a pair of box trucks? Well, what are we doing transloading this in the middle of the street on a pair of box trucks? And the driver actually got a picture of one of the box trucks. It happened to be a Ryder rental truck, and you were clearly able to see the truck number in the picture. So we were able to get a hold of Ryder, and we traced that truck to a yard in New York City. Well, this morning the police were dispatched to that yard in New York City, and I am very excited to report the cargo that went through that one box truck has been successfully recovered. So big win for this particular broker. It may only be half a win because there's 13 pallets missing.
Are they going to be able to compel that driver to help find the other one?
That is what they're trying to do, which again, why we're not using any names right now. But we do have a picture of the driver's license of the individual involved. It's my understanding he is in police custody, and they're trying to figure out where the rest of the cargo is.
Good.
So, we're making moves. We're trying to make things happen, and we're trying to get information out to the public as necessary to try to deal with these things. Now, lessons learned, because we need to talk about this for both brokers and for drivers. Okay, you guys have heard the description. I don't have all of the details yet because we haven't interviewed the driver yet. We haven't interviewed the broker in full detail yet, though he may come on the show next week to talk about it. There's going to be more details that come out. But based on what we know right now, what do brokers and drivers need to be paying attention to make sure they don't wind up in this particular mess? Where do we start? Jenny, you got any thoughts on that?
Well, we need to know who they gave the load to, who the broker gave the load to, who they think they gave the load to.
It starts with the original carrier, yes, and based on the information that I have, the original carrier is an impersonation, so it was not the carrier at all. Somebody else posing as the carrier was involved.
So is identity theft of the carrier's MC?
Identity theft of the carrier's MC, yes. And identity theft of a broker's MC as well when they were trying to book the real guy who hauled the freight.
Okay.
So we know that is the case. So there's issue number one from the get-go. We need to be talking about, oh, hello, Jack. We need to be talking about the broker's own processes when trying to vet carriers. Clearly, there's a breakdown there. So basics behind vetting your carriers. I don't know about you guys. Everyone that I ever talk to when I'm trying to book a load is using either Highway or MCP. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but it seems like RMIS is going away.
I can
only
hope. I did do an RMIS packet this morning, though.
It seems like for every 10 packets I do, 5 of them are Highway, 4 of them are MCP, and 1 is RMIS. Is the breakdown I'm currently seeing. So take that for what it's worth.
Do we know what vetting platform the original broker used?
No, and I'm hoping to get that information when I interview him. So we'll see how that plays out. But having a platform that you use to screen carriers is important. But remember, these scammers are very sophisticated. They are capable of beating those. So you have to have secondary options in hand to be able to try to sniff stuff out. For me, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but for me, the warehouse is a huge part of that vetting play. You may book it, but when that truck shows up at the warehouse, I want the warehouse to make sure the truck is verify who the truck is who I said it was going to be. And we are seeing more and more all the time. Jesus. Jack, what are you doing? Oh, let's see. He'll go to the counter. Okay, good. He went. Wow. Just got tired of being on my shoulder. Thank God. The warehouse to me is absolutely key. And Jenny, you and I have talked about this behind closed doors and other places before, that warehouses have got to improve their processes in order to make sure we're not giving carriers the wrong cargo, especially in these types of situations. But brokers, you guys have something you have to do as well. You know, how many times, Kate, and you can back me up on this, when you get a BOL, whose name is listed in the carrier block?
The broker.
It's a lot of the times it's the broker, but sometimes
A
it
lot
is
of
the
times it's the
carrier.
broker.
But if it's not either the carrier or the broker that we're working with, that's a problem.
It's
I
actually a
would
problem
dare
with
say,
the broker too.
bingo. I agree with Jen on that one. Okay,
I agree.
Now there's a couple
but
reasons.
A lot of times it's just I would say 60% of the time it's the broker's name that's listed there, which is still not right.
Bad.
But yeah.
Yes,
But
it's
at
still
least
bad.
Make
you
it put the
know
right name in.
everything traces back correctly.
True. I will grant that. But it does not put brokers in a position to hold the warehouse accountable for loading the wrong truck.
Right.
That is where I think the problem really tends to lie today. Now, granted, if you look at the regulation on how a BOL is constructed, it is the carrier's responsibility to generate a BOL. It's the carrier's job to build the BOL, not the brokers. However, in the digital age, you know, brokers are generating BOLs as part of their TMS and sending that off to the warehouse with a pickup number and all these different little minor security features that are very easy to defeat in order to give that to the carrier. So brokers out there, if you are using a TMS, do yourself a favor. If you're one of those brokers who sits there and says, hey, carrier, check in as me, check in as the broker, don't do that anymore. Stop doing that. You don't want to do that because you need somebody you can hold accountable if they load the truck wrong. And the only way you can hold that warehouse accountable is if you tell the warehouse exactly who the carrier is that's supposed to pick it up. And the only way you can prove that you told the warehouse who the carrier is that BOL. Make sure the carrier's name is actually on the BOL. If you do that, now you can hold the carrier or hold the warehouse responsible for loading the wrong carrier. So that's item number one. Item number two, warehouses. And I know very few warehouses ever look at this show. I get that. I'm trying to work on that. A little bit of marketing. But warehouses have to get off the forklift and look at the truck and make sure the information on the side of the truck matches what's on the BOL. If it doesn't match, don't load the freaking truck. If those two things happen, 90% of the fraud in this industry go away. 90%. Done. Jen, would you disagree with that?
I agree.
Pretty damn simple. It's not a difficult formula. But getting warehouses to buy in is where I've always seen the problem in this particular type of scenario. Warehouses are not paying attention to what they should be doing.
A lot of
Brokers are
times
not
they're going to
putting
say,
information on the
a lot of
BOL.
times they're going to say they don't have time to go out and check.
Bullshit.
Yeah, you do.
Bullshit.
I would demand that this load is worth this much money. You don't think that's worth 5 seconds to walk out there and look at the side of the truck and confirm who's sitting in your dock?
You could literally pay somebody to do that and still, if something happens and your shit is stolen, you already saved money.
It is a very simple thing to do, to just go and look. And I love Kate's solution. Just hire somebody to do it. So
You can pay minimum wage.
I mean,
That's
that's
right.
that's supposed to be
Sits in the
pretty
yard.
rhetorical. That's a dumb thing to do. You don't need to hire somebody to do it. But if it's that big of a deal and you're going to make that big of a stink about it, just fucking hire somebody to do it.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Because knowing what truck is actually sitting at your dock versus what is on the paperwork, assuming the paperwork is built correctly, that blocks the massive amount of fraud that exists in this industry today. Doesn't stop all of it, guys. Because let's face it, there's plenty of cargo theft going on. You know, I was on our official news source earlier today, Trucker News Hub. Please check that out, truckernewshub.com. And there was a report on there that numbers for cargo theft were just released for last year. And those numbers are they show 35 billion with a B in cargo theft in 2024. And industry experts believe that is expected to go up at least 25% this year. And that's not just stuff that's up and disappearing because of double brokering. Look at what's going on rail yards. I mean, we all saw that viral video out of Chicago where you had criminals running up to the back of shipping containers on rail cars, pulling TVs off the damn thing. And no one's doing a damn thing about it. I mean, that's part of it too. The amount of theft that's taking place, not just through double brokering, but classic train robbery is going on, and people need to protect themselves. You know, another article that I saw on Trucker News Hub involved the a new list of places in Texas, and it's specific to Texas, where truckers are advised to avoid. This is a list of truck stops that truckers are advised to avoid because of the high theft and violent crime rate out of those truck stops.
I literally just told my driver over the weekend, don't park where you're at, go somewhere else. Don't stay there, and don't go to the third ward. Go somewhere else. Because your shit's gonna get stolen.
Guys, look, if you're a driver out there, you have to protect yourself. You have to. First and foremost, put a padlock on that damn door. A good padlock. And not just that, I've actually met a guy at Matt's that I want to go ahead and bring on here at some point, where we're going to get him scheduled here at some point. But this is a guy that has a bunch of solutions for any kind of truck to be able to secure it, whether it's a securement on a swing door that not only protects the padlock that's on that door, but also a seal if there was a seal applied. There are some for roll-up doors. There are some for shipping containers. I mean, these guys got solutions for all these types of things, and it's going to be very helpful in dealing with the classic break in and steal the cargo type scenario, because that's on the rise too. I think spring is in the air, folks. It's not just pollen, but it's theft too. Crazy stuff, man. What's going on in here?
I had a driver that parked on an off ramp. He parked on an off ramp, and while he was in his sleeper, felt the truck kind of move. He thought it was the APU kicking on, whatever. Then he laid there a little bit longer. Then he kind of felt something again, and he looked out the windows and didn't really see anything. And he laid back down, and all of a sudden he felt a good bump or whatever, and he got out and went around and looked at they were stealing that right out of the back of his truck. Right, it wasn't. I don't think it was on the off ramp. It was he was backed up against a fence, kind of. They were throwing the stuff over the fence to the other people, and it just so happened that a off-duty police officer was pulling off to use the restroom on his way to go on duty, and he pulled in there behind him and caught him. I mean, he saw me. He had a good. I don't think he actually caught them. I don't think he actually got a hold of them. But I mean, he called them in and because he wasn't on duty yet, and he got the information about them. But they were throwing the
little shit like that. It is good to hear. The problem is that for every good story you hear like that, you hear 10 other nightmares. you know.
Well, and I mean, and if he'd have been solid asleep and hadn't gone, I mean, if he had already been gone to sleep, he might not have felt that, and they might have made off with his whole load.
Yeah. So protecting your cargo is extremely important. That leads me back to another thing that you drivers need to be paying attention to, not just securement of your cargo, but also your paperwork. Pay attention to your paperwork. I have all of my drivers that I dispatch for send me BOLs as soon as they pick up, and then I review those BOLs. And I review those BOLs for a few things. One, I want to make sure they're listed as the carrier first and foremost. If they're not, then I want to see who is listed as the carrier. And if it's someone other than the broker, then the broker and I are going to have a lot of words. Yes, as I said, preached before, you should have the carrier listed in the carrier block. Broker, you should be in the third party or pay to part, or sorry, the payee party.
Freight bill charges.
Yeah, that's where the broker should be. But if the broker doesn't appear anywhere on that BOL, I'm making a whole bunch of phone calls, a lot of them. Okay, shipper's going to be getting a phone call. Receiver's going to be getting a phone call. I'm going to figure out who the real broker is on this load. And God help you if you are a legitimate broker decides to cheat a little bit and double broker something, because the double broker bounty hunter is going to figure it out really freaking fast. And you'll be standing tall in front of your boss for it really quick here. But that's neither here nor there. We are seeing all kinds of issues. Let's see. We've got this cargo theft case going on. I've got another Amazon claim that got to me last week that I'll be filing later today. I've got, what's the other one I wanted to talk about today? I can't believe I'm blanking on it. Jenny, you remember what I was talking about before we went on the air?
I'm blanking on it too now that you had to ask me that. I remember we had this one, and then this was the one with Armstrong.
I remember now. And then you had
OTR, the scam OTR put out there.
Have impersonating going on steroids. Thank you.
The OTR, right?
Yeah, we just glitched for a second there. If my internet goes out, just warning y'all that might be possible. Okay. So OTR sent out a note last week to everyone that they have emails for, advertising of a new scam. And this scam basically involves carriers being bamboozled through brokers or individuals impersonating brokers and individuals impersonating owner operators. Now, we have seen carrier impersonation. We have seen broker impersonation. We recently started seeing shipper impersonation. Now we are seeing owner operator impersonation. So here's how this scam works. You're a carrier. You're just tooling around. You're doing your thing, trying to make a living, doing the best you can. You get a phone call from a reputable broker. Not to pick on Armstrong, but I'm going to use Armstrong as an example. So if any of you out there work for Armstrong, I'm not explicitly pointing you out. Please forgive me if you think that, but that's not the case. So somebody who claims to work for Armstrong call. That I'm trying. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason, you know what? They started doing construction up my street, and my internet's been glitching every now and again.
Glitched again just now. Can you hear me?
I got you loud and clear, Kate. With you and I right now. John is looking nicely frozen there in time.
Yep. Well, sorry about you, John. That sucks. I was on the phone. I was That was
So he
my
was
driver.
talking about OTR and the Armstrong thing. So I don't know where he was saying that he got a call from the OTR sent out a message saying something about Armstrong, but I can't remember the details. So
I I don't know if he forwarded that to me or somebody did. I feel like I saw that.
oh, we lost John.
Let me see. See, nope, I don't have it. I don't know. I wasn't part of that conversation, so I don't know where you guys were at with it.
Mhm. Well, I will say that the fraud has been ramping up. It's in all, in all areas of the industry, from the brokers to the carriers to the predatory leasing contracts to anywhere they can get in. And I remind people all the time that these people are plotting 2 years in advance on how they're going to scam you out of your money. So everybody just needs to remain diligent and vigilant until we can get our arms around some of this fraud.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing some shorts, educational videos coming up soon with the FreightX Media platform. So we'll have some training for brokers and carriers on, how to vet, how to build better relationships with each other so that you know who you're working with. So be watching for those to start. I probably will start them around the 1st of May. I've got to ramp up to getting those prepared.
I bet that'll catch some
Yeah, and I'm
traction.
going to try to do them in shorts of like 15 to 30-minute segments so that, people aren't inundated just having to sit there and, grind through them. They can do them whenever. So hopefully, with that said, when we get some of those shorts together, we can go ahead and start getting those out there to people so that they can know how to better vet and do due diligence.
Yeah. A lot of people need to learn something. I was talking to somebody else the other day and we were talking about the people that just seem to like get got by all kinds of different various scams in the industry or whatever. And people don't know when they first get into trucking, they don't, in my opinion, they don't consider or think that anything could be like a foul because it's a government regulated industry.
Well, it's what I've
It's just
always said
not.
from good.
It's just not very well regulated. People just don't think about that. They're like, oh, it's government regulated. It's fine. Like that thought doesn't even cross their mind.
We pump out all these drivers from these CDL schools. I call them the CDL farms, where we give people pieces of plastic and say, get in a truck and go. And all they know is to match origin and destination. They don't know anything else about what they're doing. Some of them don't even know what kind of driver they want to be. They don't know if they want to be an owner operator, they want to be a lease driver, if they want to be a company driver, and what are the differences between those. They have no idea. And then they get out here and they're driving a truck and they're trying to run a business from inside a truck, running all aspects of their business from dispatching to, getting their money, chasing down their money, to the whole, every bit of it. And they run out of bandwidth, basically. They're trying to drive, they're trying to get the load there on time. And then they're having to find loads and they're having to, invoice and track down their money. And it just becomes a big mess for them. So I think that I always say that the CDL farm needs to have a week of business training behind that so that they can know what to expect when they get out there in the industry, not just in fraud, but how to vet your brokers, how to, spot a double brokered load, what not to do, information not to give out to people, things to be looking for, activities coming in. They have no idea what to expect when they get out there. None. And they get out there and get hit by this. Oh, I had no idea. They don't know who to go to when they do have, collections issues. So a lot of people don't realize that there are people like myself, Vigilant Transportation, Brown Freight Recovery, that are out there trying to help nail these guys and get you guys your money. And they don't know who to turn to, and they don't know that there are people that specialize for our industry. So we're trying to hit as many people out there as we can with this to help them, because there's so much fraud that there's a lot of people that need recovery services done. And I specifically recover for carriers, for brokers, for factors, for freight forwarders. I help equipment leasing places to recover money from leases. So we can handle all types of fraud and not just fraud, but in non-payment as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go, guys. Do your research.
If you need help doing due diligence, I can certainly help with that as well. And I provide that service is, free of charge to the clients that we have, so that, I can help you, if you call me up and say, hey, check out this broker, I have a factoring company that lets me use their days to pay. I can do a credit report check on them. I check social media and platforms like Google reviews, Bizpedia, the DAT reviews, to see if there's any information on instances of non-payment. And then also, I can't tell you whether or not to use them, but I can tell you what I see, which is sometimes enough to make sure that you don't get caught up in something. But if you're not using someone like myself, make sure you are doing your due diligence, or find somebody that can help you so that you're not getting taken advantage of. Because we have found in the past that if one of these carriers gets taken advantage of by a scam broker, a lot of times they're taken advantage of by more than one scam broker. They're easily have the wool pulled over their eyes.
Yeah. For sure.
So.
Well, 342, that'd be cool. I know another thing that we were going to touch on was a little bit of compliance.
Okay.
Sorry, I have a guy that has to find a place to get his truck looked at. I think I found a place, so I'm just gonna text it to him real quick.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. I didn't expect John to disappear. Like, maybe he was glitching, but I know he's got bad storms. We've had bad storms here for the last 4 days, so I totally get it.
812. I'll send him the number real quick.
You're fine.
304. Go get your truck checked out. 9279. Okay. Anyways, we're going to touch on a little bit of compliance, because I have personally gone through the ringer over the last probably 6 months trying to get our authority fully compliant and ready to be going, which we finally now are. We do have a guy that started this week, and we're officially.
Is this a carrier authority or a broker authority?
It's a carrier authority.
Mm-hmm.
So we went through so much hell. I would love to see, now knowing what I know now, I would love to see what people do when they go and just buy authorities. Like, I feel like all they're doing is going in there and changing the MCS 150. It's not that simple at all. Like, you're not removing the previous person of any responsibility just by going in and changing the MCS 150. We had to do all kinds of stuff, and all we did was a transfer of ownership. We didn't buy the company. It was just a transfer of ownership, and it was still just crazy. You have to file IRS forms and stuff with the FMCSA. You have to update insurance stuff, which is a pain. It's ridiculous. So,
hey, John, long time no see.
I'm back. Okay, so now we know we stay live when I'm having.
We hope we did.
According to the counter, I did. I'd have to go back and look at YouTube or something, see if we shut down. Whoever is watching us on YouTube, shoot me a quick message.
I'll find out real quick. Hang on.
And let me know if we stayed live the entire time. That would be kind of cool to know. Yeah, what happened was the power flashed here and had to reset the router.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, well, it's been nonstop storms around here. I've got tornadoes all around me. I've got thunderstorms all around me. It's just been a crazy day.
Well, hopefully it gets
better. They said we stayed on, John.
We stayed on. Okay, cool. Good to know. So, despite 10 minutes of technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize, but we are back. Yay. Now, as part of being
We
back.
covered a whole lot of stuff while you were gone, so it's okay.
Oh, well, then I guess I'll just wind up the show.
No, we need to hear about Armstrong and OTR. That's where we were at.
Okay, well, before I move on to Armstrong and OTR and talk about this new scam, I did just receive an update from the broker about this stolen cargo. The second box truck has been located and the cargo has been recovered.
Nice. So wait, does that mean that the guy who the scam broker or whatever who actually facilitated that, does that mean that he already paid out the loads and is now out his money
Yes.
and his shit that he stole? Nice. Okay. Nice.
Yes, it does mean that. It does mean that. Now, this particular broker, and I'm inviting him onto the show for next week. I don't want to give his name yet because I still want to dig in from the task force perspective. And I want to dig into where they did the transload operation. I want to dig into the location where the cargo was found and look for associations, et cetera, et cetera. So until I complete that part of the investigation, which will take me a couple of days, until I complete that, we're not going to delve too much into this. But this particular broker, this is his second stolen cargo that he has dealt with. And he is now 2 for 2 on recoveries. So congrats to this broker because he's a unicorn.
How has he been so lucky to recover so quickly?
That is why. Well, I know how he managed to pull this one off. How he did the other one, I don't know. But I definitely want to ask him that when he's on our show. And like I said, hopefully he'll be on our show next week. But very happy to hear that fantastic news.
Good job.
So brokers, if you are watching, all hope is not lost. If you follow a very specific process in trying to locate your cargo, it can be done. But it helps to have a little bit of help along the way. Give us a call. Okay, now let's go ahead and go back to Armstrong. Again, if you work for Armstrong, please, I'm not trying to bash you. I'm just using you as an example. So Armstrong, very good reputation in the industry. No big issues. You got some guy claiming that he works for Armstrong, and he's got an owner-operator that needs an authority to run under to be able to haul some loads. Okay, that sounds like a plausible type situation. I could buy that for $1. So basically, what ends up happening is Armstrong goes to this guy and goes to the carrier and says, "Hey, Mr. Carrier, we want you to onboard this guy. We've got loads for him. We'll take care of him. You know, we'll send you all the paperwork. Then you can go ahead and get factored and all that good stuff. And you know, you take 20% or whatever, et cetera, et cetera." Okay, well, that sounds pretty damn easy. Somebody's basically already got loads for this guy. He's already dispatched, and I'm making easy money on it. Okay, I might take that risk. So you go through the onboarding process, and you onboard this new owner-operator. Well, we'll talk about how to onboard an owner-operator in a moment because Kate does a lot of that. But let's just say you go through the process. Now you have rate confirmations starting to flow. So Armstrong starts sending you, Mr. Carrier, these rate confirmations for these loads for this new owner-operator that's working for you. Then about 2 days later, you start getting PODs from the owner-operator saying, "Hey, this load's done. Here's the signed BOL. Life's good." And you turn it into factoring. You get paid, and you turn around and you pay the owner-operator. Life is good. Everything seems to be going just fine. But there's a hitch. A couple days later, your factoring company calls you and says, "Hey, you know all those loads for this owner-operator you just brought on?" "Yeah." "Well, they're scams." "What do you mean they're scams?" "Well, we shouldn't have paid you for it. Armstrong knows nothing about it. And we're taking that money back." Because let's face it, folks, if you're working with a factoring company, they give you money for something. It turns out the load was never valid. They are going to take the money back. It is going to happen. Carriers, you have no recourse in that. They're going to take the money back. So they take the money back. But wait a minute. the carrier already paid the owner operator. So now if I'm the carrier, I'm on the phone. Hey, owner operator, look, dude, what the hell's going on? Yeah, they're telling me all these loads are fake. Hello, Bueller, he's gone. You go and you call the broker that recommended the guy to you. Hello, he's gone too. So now you're just left with nothing. They up and disappear. Forgive the phrase, like a fart in a wind. Now, Mr. Carrier, you are out thousands of dollars because you paid somebody to move freight for you that turned out to be a scam. Now, if that isn't kicker enough, you find out that there was never actually any freight that moved. It was all paperwork exercise. No one spent any money.
So
No
okay.
cargo actually moved. It was
If
just
no
paperwork.
cargo moved, is there even a truck to move it?
Probably not. Is
Okay,
my
okay.
guess.
Okay.
Now,
so
Go ahead.
then,
This is why I wanted to bring it to you. Go ahead.
so then that truck is not put on this person's insurance to that the so-called broker called to let him haul for.
Was it?
That's
Now,
my
it
question.
could be
There's
they
no
gave you a
truck
VIN number of a truck. It could be they gave you a VIN number of a truck. Let's
and a
assume for a
trailer
second they
or
gave
a
you a VIN number.
or a box truck or whatever. Okay. All right.
Let's assume you got a VIN number. And you
Okay.
did, as the carrier, because you're a carrier, you did dutifully put them on your insurance. So let's assume that information is out there and faked, because these guys have been pulling fake VIN numbers forever. They have. It's not outside the realm of possibility. Go ahead. What's your next step?
I mean, it
What are
can't
the
be
other
fake
questions
VIN
you're
numbers,
asking?
right? I mean, I've
Huh?
got a lot of questions. There's a whole lot of like, no, I wouldn't do that because I personally have way too many steps that I go through. I want to see your, I need your DOT inspection, your medical card, your driver's license, your pictures of your truck and trailer. I need everything. But I go overkill on some stuff. So
Okay.
that's just
Now
my
that
personal.
that leads me to my next question, and this is why I'm so glad you're my co-host, Kate, because you know this shit better than most. If you are bringing on a new owner operator, what steps are you supposed to be taking? Because let's face it, you have to build a driver qualification file.
Mhm.
And if you're building a driver qualification file, then you have to have the MVR, you have to have their driver's license, you have to have their med card, you have to have all sorts of stuff, their application to work for you. I mean, there's a whole bunch of information that goes in that. Now, I'm willing to bet in this particular scam, I don't think they're going to be so sophisticated as to have all that package ready for you to hand to you when you first ask for it. I seriously doubt
Right.
that's going to be prepackaged like that. Okay, which tells me that they're convincing the carrier to do this as, hey, do me a favor while you're going through the process of onboarding the guy. We're going to get these loads moved and we're going to pay you to do it. That's what.
No, I don't give a shit because if you get stopped, if you get stopped and you're not on my ELD or you're not in the driver qualification program or whatever consortium, drug and alcohol consortium, you're not enrolled in whatever. Like, no.
Thank you.
If you get stopped
Thank you.
for some kind of inspection and they see one thing that's off, that's not you that's going to be in trouble. That's me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So there's a lot of steps involved with trying to onboard a carrier. And that's the bottom line here. What a lot of carriers don't get is if you get that out of the blue phone call from somebody saying, hey, do me a favor, right away, the red flag should be flying. It really should. Okay. Because nobody in this industry expects you to do a favor for them. And if they do expect you to do a favor for them, they're not going to give you anything for it. Okay, guys, we are out of the days where you know, a trucker sees another trucker pulled over on the side of the road, they pull over and help. That doesn't happen anymore.
Mhm.
I'm sorry to say that, but that's not the case. So having somebody call you out of the blue saying, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" And I don't know them. You think I'm really going to bend over and do anything for them? They're out of their bloody freaking minds. I mean, that's just my 2 cents. I mean, aside from all the regulatory bullshit you're supposed to do, the driver qualification file, have the inspections on file for the truck, and get them on the insurance and all that takes time.
Hey, while we are on this topic, let me just throw this out there. I had another person reach out that was affected by MABE, aka Raptor, aka Backwater, aka what's Brazo Star Logistics,
Yes. Brazo Star's the current one, yeah.
whatever. I mean, another guy. So they're still on it. Still rocking and rolling, still going.
I think that puts us at what, 65 confirmed victims?
Probably.
I mean, we're well into the 60s. I do know that.
And those are just people that we know of.
Yes. I have to give Sean Mabe, and I don't know what name he's going by now. The last guy who reached out to me said, I think he was using Sean McCoy.
Yes.
And wasn't McCoy the name of his operations manager or something stupid like that? I don't know. Anyway, it's all.
All I know is he likes taking money from dumb truck drivers.
As he said,
literally said it
and over again
on the internet, which you can't find anymore because he deleted it.
Yeah, he pulled it off his
forever.
YouTube channel.
Oh, I know.
He pulled it off his YouTube channel. Kate has a copy. I've got 3 copies. Jen, you got a copy of it too? Okay.
2 of them.
you have 2 of them. I know that Sage Outcast did a video about him at one point, and I think Sage has a copy of the video as well.
Sage,
So
as a guest.
That would be cool.
I know you like ripping on people, so.
So, you know, as much as I'm not a fan of trolls and whatnot, there are certain individuals who have a reputation for being a troll that I don't mind helping us out from time to time. Okay, and I saw the video Sage did, and I about fell over laughing. I mean, I felt like that was a Christmas present. He did that back in December. That felt like a Christmas present to me. I loved it. But he ripped that 27-year-old snot-nosed brat a new one. Okay. So Sean, if you happen to be watching, make sure you go check out Sage Outcast's channel, okay? Because he did a nice little piece on you. Enjoy it.
And Sean, if you'd like to come on to speak to Sage, I can drop you the link for the Discord. I'm sure he'd be glad to have you.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Okay, so guys, one of the reasons why I'm doing this episode today, you know, yes, I know Jenny was a last minute guest, and thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it, Jenny. You know I love you, and I don't just pull on you last minute. But the reason why we had that was because we were going to have a couple other guests on to talk about this owner-operator impersonation scam, but unfortunately they backed out, and we're going to be pushing them to probably next week. But it was important for us to get that information out. But with all the stuff going on right now that the 3 of us are intimately involved in one form or another, usually, thankfully, on the investigative side, not on the perpetrator side. You know, it felt important to bring this in here. Now, for those who don't know, Jenny doesn't just do collections. She's also part of the Freight Fraud Task Force. And we work together in dealing with a lot of parts in that. We're not at liberty to discuss some of the things that we're doing because they're active investigations, and we don't want to give away any of the information that we have regarding those active investigations until they've been completed. So we will be sharing that as things come up, and they will be shared under the hashtag Freight Fraud Task Force. So if you are on LinkedIn, you can search this hashtag and you'll be able to get the information that we
And
are
I
putting out.
think the FFTF works too. Hashtag FFTF for the Freight Fraud Task Force. So if people don't want to type all that out, I think FFTF works as well.
I'll have to look into that because I'm not positive about that. But I appreciate that. What are the things that I also do? If you are on Reddit, now we do not live stream this on Reddit. I do post links to it every now and again on Reddit, wherever I can. The trucking underscore scams subreddit is typically where I am. I'm the moderator of that, and that's where I'm putting out links and whatnot, because all the other subreddits don't allow you to post links and all that happy fun stuff. Otherwise they ban you. I got banned from the truckers subreddit in about 2 days because I posted a link.
Damn.
You know what? That's fine. Those of you on the trucker subreddit, that's cool. If you happen to check out my subreddit and you see something of value that the rest of the trucking industry needs to know, please go ahead and link that back over and share it, because it can be helpful to people. What most people don't understand, and this is not just true of me as the double broker bounty hunter, or Jenny doing her stuff with collections, but we're not in this to become millionaires or make tons of money or anything
It's
like
not
that.
for the glory, for sure.
We're here to help the industry. That is why we do this. And if any of you think, oh, John, you're a freaking sellout, you're wearing an AccuBid hat, you got AccuBid's logo all over your screen, yada, yada, yada. You know what? Okay, fine. Believe what you will. If you knew how little money I actually make off of AccuBid, I'll be happy to trade income with you, and you can go ahead and take that money from me. I'll be happy to do that. We're not in this for the money. If any of you think we are, you're nuts. Would I love to make money doing fraud prevention work? Absolutely, but it doesn't happen. At least not right now, which is why I'm still dispatching. Trust me, I would not be dispatching if I was doing fraud prevention full time. Okay.
And trust me, it could be done full time by both of us and 10 other people too.
Easily. This is a side gig for us. We've got our own professional lives that we lead. But we are so incensed by the fraud in this industry, and that we want to make a difference. And that's why we're here. That's why the Freight Fraud Task Force exists. People come to the Freight Fraud Task Force and say, oh, well, why isn't Highway part of this? Why isn't MCP part of this? Why isn't RMIS part of this? Guys, RMIS, MCP, Highway, as much as I do support those platforms, and I do think they are a good thing, they are for profit. Okay? They sell tools to fight fraud. So do they really want fraud to go completely away? The answer, no. They want to tamp it down. They want to control it. They want to be able to minimize it, but they don't want it to go away. As long as the threat exists, you'll still buy their tools. The Freight Fraud Task Force is different. The Freight Fraud Task Force is a nonprofit, and we are here to eliminate fraud. That is our purpose. We want to be out of a job. Okay, so we are here for the long haul. We are here to do the right thing. We are here to eliminate it completely. And we need the support of the general transportation public to be able to make this work. So please, if you are a Redditor, go ahead and reach out to me on the subreddit trucking_scams. And you'll be able to link into everything that I'm doing on there. Check us out on Reddit, on LinkedIn. Check out my Facebook, whatever. But find ways to get involved, and we'll be able to give you more ways to get involved with the task force over the coming months as we complete setting it up and be able to show more of the work that we're capable of doing. So lots to come in that regard. I've broken down the new scam that OTR put out last week with the fake owner operators. I've talked about the cargo theft, which is now fully resolved. Yes, it's always a good day when we see that happen. Always a good day when a broker can get the cargo back. What else do we need to cover today?
I think we did it while you were dropped out. We talked about fraud. We talked about the continuing education modules I'm going to have coming out on the FreightX Media, probably starting the 1st of May. I'm going to do them in shorts, 15 to 30 minutes for brokers, for carriers, to help them learn how to vet better, to build better relationships, to work together as a team. You and I are working together on that stuff, doing the short training modules. So be looking for those to come out probably, like I said, around the 1st of May. That's my goal so far. I mean, right now I'm in transition with some other things. So that's where I'm headed with that, I think.
Okay. So we have got a lot of moving parts right now, not just with the Freight Fraud Task Force, not just under the DBBH, but in all facets of the fraud fighting front that exists in the industry. Man, tongue twisters today.
Right. Freight. I was just trying to get with you. Freight fraud fighting.
Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor, but I love Chick-fil-A.
Yet.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's been kind of crazy. Thankfully, one thing I can say right now is that I am seeing rates finally start to improve across the industry. I think I'm seeing about a 10% to 15% increase over last year, which is good. It could just be an effect of the spring and the push of cargo trying to get into the country before the tariffs started hitting. Now that the tariffs are in place, let's see what kind of impact that has, though historically that's not been good. So we'll see what kind of interesting things are going to happen for that. We are also expecting to see theft continue to rise if inflation starts getting out of control again, and income starts going down, people start losing their jobs as a result of all these tariffs, then desperation kicks in. When desperation kicks in, crime kicks in. So we could be seeing another spike of traditional cargo theft, which is what we're watching coming off of trains and shipping containers in the back of trucks now. Or we can see the more creative guys like the double brokers and all trying to come up with new schemes to rob the industry blind as much as they can. Whatever direction this goes, Freight Fraud Task Force is watching, and we are reacting.
And we are building up for what's coming.
I have another good news piece to report. We know that over a month ago, DOJ gutted FMCSA and got rid of the registration fraud team that was hired back in October. I am happy to report that we have learned that the registration fraud team is actively being rehired. So the plans that FMCSA has had to secure the registration process, to make sure that it is not so simple for somebody to get an authority, those plans are moving forward. And by the end of 2025, you will see significant changes in trying to obtain an authority. Hopefully, we will also see those efforts transition to current registrations, where they're going to start screening current registrations for place of business, phone numbers, things of that nature, to make sure that they are in line with federal requirements. Because, folks, I don't care if you're a broker or you're a carrier or how long you've had your authority. When they go to review your authority documentation, if it is not in line with federal standard, your authority will be revoked. I'm just telling you that now. So get ahead of it. If you are a large broker, if you are a large carrier, or you're a small broker or a small carrier, check your registration. Make sure it meets requirements. If it does not meet requirements, you need to fix it. You need to fix it now, because you don't want to find out that you don't meet requirements after you've been told that your authority's been revoked. Just saying, take that for what it's worth. But it is coming. It is going to happen. There are changes coming in this industry for the better. But despite the changes that FMCSA is planning, it's not going to be enough to root out the fraud that's already there. There is nothing available today that's going to stop the scammers from doing impersonation attacks. There is nothing out there today that's going to stop them from coming up with new and more creative ways to swindle the system. It is coming. And why in God's name is, Jack again. I don't know if you see his head. He's brushing against my green screen. Ugh. Come here. There we go. Put it back behind the green screen. Hey, he's my supervisor. What do you want? Jenny, any last words before we shut down for the day? You're muted.
Vet,
There you go.
vet. Check your partners, build your relationships, do more than just pick up the phone and ask how much is in the load. Have a conversation with the broker. Brokers have a conversation with your carriers. Make sure they're legit people. I can't emphasize that enough.
This is the horror story we hear every single time. You know, I understand we're all busy. I understand we're all trying to get something done, and we're all trying to get it done fast. There is no substitution for doing it the right way.
What is it that Jeff says? The cheapest way to do something is the most expensive way?
Absolutely. What's up, John? Thank you for joining us.
John. So that's a phrase from the Bodacious Cowboy. For those of you that know Jeff, he says that the cheapest way to do something is the most expensive.
You know, John, I was going to keep you anonymous for a little while, but I'm glad you're able to announce it.
John, okay, he got the entire truckload back. Congratulations.
John is the broker that I've been working with over the weekend, trying to help him out deal with this. Now, all I did was help point him in the right direction. He did the majority of the work. I don't want to take credit away where credit is due. But he did a phenomenal job trying to track down that cargo, and he managed to get it back. And John, I want to make sure I get you on this show here next week or the week after, because I want you to be able to tell your story and give these other brokers out there some hope as to how they can take care of themselves for the future if they wind up in your same shoes.
Some hope, but also express the headache that it's taken for you to get this done and be successful at it, so that other people know what kind of trouble it is, and that they don't want to go through the same thing you have.
John, you're a unicorn. 2 for 2.
Let's hope there's not a third.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously. Kate, you got any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
You're muted.
You're muted.
Damn it. I don't know when I did that. Just because somebody sounds American or is American over the phone does not mean they're worth a shit.
Fraud
I had somebody tell
can
me
happen
that
no matter
over-
what nationality they are.
Yeah. I mean, yes, there's a whole, like, generally, in most cases, they're all right because they're, here, but not. No. You still need to do your research. Doesn't matter who it is. Do your research and find out who you're talking to. I had somebody over the weekend say, "Well, I heard he was American when I talked to him, so I just trusted it." Like, no.
Hope for the best and expect the worst. Trust but verify. Whatever phrase you want to put in there. Don't trust anyone until you've built the relationship with them that warrants the trust.
Yes.
You don't know if the guy that's working next door to you is fraudulent or not.
Yeah, I talk to brokers all the time, and when I talk to brokers, part of my, forgive me, sales pitch, and for my carriers when I'm trying to book a load, is that, hey, you probably heard of me. I'm known as the Double Broker Bounty Hunter, and that usually sparks a conversation. They get to know me a little bit better and a little bit better. How do you know I am who I say I am? I can tell you that half the people when I say that to, they say, "Oh, I'm on your webpage now. I see your stuff. Dude, this is freaking awesome." I do see that stuff, but at least I know those particular brokers are doing their homework. They're doing their due diligence. They are looking at me. They are trying to find information on me as I'm talking to them. And that's a mark of a good broker. They're doing everything they can to protect their customer before they ever give the load to the carrier. That's a good piece of work right there.
Hey, real quick, before we shut it down.
No, please.
I am looking for a driver. One of my people is looking for a driver for his truck. So if anybody knows anybody who is a CDL holder with clean MVR, the truck is based in Laredo.
Clean MVR, folks.
Yes, clean. I'm not going to put you on my insurance with a shitty MVR.
What kind of truck?
It's a hot shot, a 40-foot hot shot. Truck based in Laredo, but driver doesn't necessarily have to be in Laredo.
So if you're looking for a job as a driver and you have hot shot or flatbed experience and you have a CDL, let's reach out to Kate. And for those of you who need to reach out to Kate, you can always get her at kprice@stopthescampodcast.com. You could also reach me, the Double Broker Bounty Hunter, at jcantera@stopthescampodcast.com, and we'll be happy to help you out with anything that you may need. As a general reminder, Stop the Scam airs live every Monday, 1 p.m. Central on all the Lounge Media groups. We are brought to you care of AccuBid Pro, and it gives me great pleasure to air their newest commercial.
Tired of spending hours bidding on loads and second-guessing your profits? Introducing AccuBid Pro, the mobile app designed for the everyday owner-operator. We simplify load bidding, making it fast, accurate, and stress-free. Know your operating costs up front to ensure every load is profitable. Plus, for a limited time, enjoy a 30-day free trial. Stop guessing and start earning. Download AccuBid Pro today. Available now in the App Store. Bid better with AccuBid Pro.
So awesome new commercial for them. Also, if you need collections help, I want to get you in touch with Jenny since she has all the hookup on that. Don't have it typed up in here, but I'll get it up here for next time we have you on.
It's in the chat.
Yep. It's at collections@vigilanttransport.com. That's VIGILANT transport.com. That actually is my website. So feel free to check that out. You can always watch the show there too. If you ever need anything, please reach out to us because there is a wealth of knowledge just among these three people. And not just in these three people. If the three of us don't know how to find the information that you need, we know people who can help. We have access to a massive network of fraud fighters who are dedicated to try to resolve situations, even in a crisis. So please, the minute you find yourself in a jam, reach out. We are happy to help in any way we can. Folks, stay safe out there. And no matter what you do, don't let scammers take you for a ride. We will see you again next week, and hopefully we'll be able to break down this cargo theft and how you brokers can deal with it if you get caught in that same situation. We will catch you all then. Take care, folks.